Welcome to Recruitment Revised, the podcast that helps you hire smarter, job search better, and stay ahead in today's ever-changing talent landscape. I'm Kim Acosta, director and founder of Ucentric, a technology recruitment firm passionate about unlocking potential and driving success. I'm also a former Amazon talent acquisition manager, so I've been both an internal and an external recruitment leader. I'm here to share first-hand insights, expert strategies, and real-world stories to help you navigate the job market with confidence, whether you're hiring or looking for your next big opportunity. Let's revise and explore recruitment together. Welcome to Recruitment Revised with Kim Acosta, the podcast that helps you navigate job searching and hiring with confidence. And today we're going to talk about a really important interview question. Tell me about yourself. Now, why is this question so important? Well, a 2015 study by Frieder et al. Actually found that 30% of interviewers made their mind up about a candidate within the first 5 minutes of their job interview. Now, what this tells us is that first impressions really count, and that your response to this question will essentially set the tone of the interview to come. So this is a real opportunity for you as a candidate to provide a personal pitch about why you're a strong fit for the role at hand. So how do you provide a strong, structured, and memorable response to this question? Today, we'll actually talk you through the present, past, and future framework that will help you deliver a compelling personal pitch. We'll share a real-world example and discuss how both candidates and interviewers can maximize this critical moment. So while tell me about yourself may be the most common phrasing, interviewers may ask essentially the same thing in alternative ways, so be prepared for variations. Examples include, give me an overview of your experience. Walk me through your background. Can you summarize your career for me? Or what should I know about you as a prospective candidate? Regardless of how the question is framed, your answer should always align with the role that you're applying for. And the framework we discussed today can actually be adapted to suit these alternative ways of essentially asking the same question. One of the most effective ways to craft a strong response is by carefully reviewing the position description. I know that sounds pretty basic, but it's really, really key. Understanding what the company is looking for will help you tailor your response in a way that resonates with the hiring manager. So here are some pieces of advice. Talk to your recruiter. Talk about the non-negotiables and the most critical criteria of the role. Recruiters often have insights into what the hiring manager is prioritizing. Connect with someone currently in a similar role within the same company. So if possible, reach out to someone working in that same company or in that same industry to understand what success typically looks like in their role. Another piece of advice is to identify key criteria. Pick out the most important skills, experience, and qualifications listed in the position description and align them with your own background. By strategically highlighting your relevant skills and experience, you ensure that your response directly addresses what the employer is looking for. Now, let's finally talk about this present, past, future framework. This framework actually allows you to structure your response in a way that aligns to the role that you're applying for, whilst also giving the interviewer a clear picture of your career journey. So let's break it down. With the present, start with what you're doing now. Talk about your current role, key responsibilities, notable achievements, and mention your educational qualifications or certifications that are relevant to the role that you're applying for. Next, talk about your past. Highlight previous roles and experiences that have actually built your skill set. Emphasize what's prepared you for this next opportunity. And finally, future. Explain why you're excited about this role and how it aligns with your career goals. This is your chance to connect your journey with the company's mission and values. Now, some common mistakes and pitfalls and how to avoid them. Number one, Some candidates can sometimes be a little too vague. So generic statements like, "I'm a hard worker," don't particularly add any value to the interview. Instead, provide specific details about your skills and achievements that actually relate to the role. Number 2, a common mistake is rambling. So preparation is really key to keep your answer concise. Aim to answer this question in 2 to 3 minutes. Practice this response in front of the mirror or use your phone to record yourself and ensure that you're actually hitting all the right points and watch it back. A third common mistake is that candidates sometimes focus way too much on the past. So your history is important, but make sure your response is forward-looking and aligns to the new role at hand. Last, sometimes people just don't mention skills and experience that align with the role. Use keywords from the position description and really use this time to illustrate that you're a strong fit. So let's put all these learnings together through a mock example. Say you're currently an AWS solutions architect looking to transition into an enterprise architect role at Commonwealth Bank. Here's an example of how you might structure your response. So I'm currently an AWS solution architect working at Accenture, where I design scalable cloud-based solutions for my enterprise clients. My role involves optimizing cloud architecture for security, performance, and cost efficiency. And I've led several successful migrations from legacy systems to AWS with financial services clients. Earlier in my career, I worked as a cloud support engineer with AWS itself, where I focused on assisting customers with automation, infrastructure as code, and multi-cloud strategies. My experience in both hands-on engineering and high-level architecture has actually given me deep understanding of how to bridge business needs with technical solutions. I'm particularly excited about this role at CBA because it aligns perfectly with my goal of driving strategic technology transformations. I'm passionate about leveraging cloud technology to improve financial services, and I believe that my experience in designing enterprise-scale solutions would bring value to your modernization initiatives that I saw on your website. So this response is relatively well structured, it's relevant, and leaves the interviewer wanting to hear more. Now, as an interviewer, if you're on the other side of the table, remember that first impressions do matter, but they shouldn't dictate the entire interview. So here are a few best practices. Resist the urge to be swayed by first impressions. Take note of relevant aspects of the candidate's background and experience, and don't hesitate to revisit later in the interview. Use the rest of the interview to validate some of the things that you initially heard. Dive deeper into examples and ask for quantifiable results. Don't hesitate to ask for clarity and evidence, and don't take all statements at face value. Don't hesitate to ask the candidate, what their specific contribution was versus that of their teams. So based on everything that we discussed today, here are some of the key takeaways. Number 1, your response should be tailored, structured, and aligned to the role at hand. Number 2, the first 5 minutes of an interview can really set the tone, so make them count through preparation. Number 3, use the present, past, and future method to craft a clear and compelling answer to the tell me about yourself question. Number 4, avoid common mistakes such as rambling, being too vague, or not connecting your responses back to the job. Number 5, thoroughly review the position description and align your responses accordingly. And number 6, on the interviewer side, you should be aware of bias and validate your responses all through the interview. Now, my final thoughts, your tell me about yourself answer should be clear, confident, and tailored to the role. It's about making an impact within the first 5 minutes and setting the stage for a smooth and engaging interview. For interviewers, it's about staying objective as much as possible, asking the right follow-up questions, and by making informed hiring decisions. If you found this episode helpful, subscribe to Recruitment Revised for more career and interview insights. Until next time, be prepared, be confident, and make those first 5 minutes of your interview count. Thank you, everyone.